Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to paper stencils for the beginner. Now, when you're a beginner, you get itching to paint things and you go on Google, you look at images, and there's abundance of images, genres that you can look at, different pieces of artwork, and you sort of want to go down the stencil route to make it a little bit easier as you're a beginner, so you can spray around something to get these images down. A lot of people go in, you'll see me on my videos, I'll go in, project up, put all the lines down and just go straight in freehand overlined outlines. But you can use stencils to sharpen the edges up, and I think if you go too stencil and always go down the stencil route, it just makes your images look a bit too sort of line it and too sharp. If you want to do sort of a bit more realistic, you need to put your sharps and your softs together, and it just makes for a better image. It's like everything on this image isn't really sharp. You've got your outlines that are sharp, and that's what we're going to get today. I'm going to show you in these a two-part stencil. I've got two images the same. I'll give you a little guide and a little look at how we can get this image down the easiest way, and I'll show you some little tips and tricks along the way. So the bits that you're going to need, I've got this two school pictures. These were off Google, so if you type in skull and spanner crossbone instead of skull and crossbone, this picture will come up. You may have to scroll through a bit to find it, but this was a Google image printed out on A4, and that's what we're going to work on today. So two pieces of paper, if you can get it printed out of the same image. You'll need a decent scalpel. I would recommend a Swan Morton with a 10A blade. You can buy these are really good scalpels. So you need one of those, a cut mat so you can cut your stencils out on, a few pencils, preferably a soft HB pencil, and then another one for a little bit harder point. And that's basically it. Airbrush I'm using is the PO771. You can use any airbrush, it doesn't matter, as long as it's sort of like a 0.2. You can go up to 0.5 with this, it's not a problem, but if you want to get a little bit more detail down that we're going to get done today, a smaller needle size would be good. So they're the sort of bits we're going to need, nice and simple. I'll run you through these real time, so this is going to be a long video, so get yourself a drink and we'll crack on with this skull and spanner crossbone, and I'll show you the way I'll go about it, transferring it and painting it. So I'll see you in the first step over at the cut mat, and we'll get this one chopped up and I'll show you what to do. Right guys, so you've got your printed piece of art. Now if you flip it over and you can still see the skull underneath, I want you to just pencil the back. Preferably if you've got a soft HB, but go round where all the picture is with your pencil, like this. You can get trace down paper, but you're probably looking at about £5 to £6 for a packet of trace down paper, when this will get you by, guys, as a beginner. Cheap pencil on the back. This is old school stuff you'd do at school for transferring an image. So just go round over your image at the back. So that's transferred the carbon to the back of your piece of paper, like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move back over to the easel. I've got the bins on because I can't see a thing. So we've got the piece of paper with your penciled out the back. Now locate your piece of artwork on your piece of paper that you're going to paint on. Now I'll just drop a little bit of masking tape to hold it there for a second, and then go up to the edges and just draw around the corners like this, a little bit there. And what that will do is that will just give you a reference point with them points there, just to locate your piece of art again. Then just pin that in place with a bit more masking so it don't move anywhere. And now you're good to go and draw over your detail parts. Now we're going to be chopping this out this outer we're going to chop out, and we're going to chop out the bit where the nose is and this bit here and round the eyes. So they will be your real sharp images where you can put your stencil on, hold it and spray, and you'll get these really sharp. But you're not going to be able to stencil out. You could do multi-layer stencils and get all these intricate bits, but I want to sort of teach you to go in sort of freehand to get all these other little bits down. So we're just going to go in and just put these little points in like that. The crack coming down on the head like that. These parts here, and that piece in there. That piece there. All these inner lines like that, down where the teeth is, so you put all them teeth in and just trace around the best you can, and it's just giving you that pencil line on your piece of paper underneath. As I say, I'd usually be projecting this up and doing it the projection route way. You're just getting all these little details in place. Just work around your image, drawing in all them little details as reference points, and this will just help you when you paint. You know where you're going. When you look at your picture, you know exactly where you're going. So you should have, when you move and flip this up, you've got lines and things on there. You've got your teeth marked out, you've got little bits of the spanner, so you're transferring them little lines across, and they're on here when you do that, when you flip it up like that. So we're just going to put that one in there. And the better you can get the pencil on the back of this paper, the better it will transfer across. So we've got that bit, we've got, all you can see is very, very faint outlines. That's sort of good enough to work on. You can just draw some of them teeth in, like that. So you've got that, you can now take that off. You've got your little reference points there that are penciled in, so then you can locate this back up to them points and just tack it into place. So we'll move back over to the cut mat and we'll cut this one out. Right guys, so you're ready to cut out. You've got your nice sharp scalpel. Be careful with these because they are very sharp. Now we're just going to cut out, going to go to the edge and just cut out this piece. So we're going all the way around the skull, but I think we're out in the bit there. So you'll cut that piece out like that. So you can put that to one side, and now you've got that piece. Now you can place this up onto your piece of paper, locate it on them little locating pieces that I did there, and you could mask this one on. So you keep all your overspray clean on the outside. It keeps all your paint and overspray to the inner. It shields it off. The only thing that you're going to get trouble with a paper mask is they're very sort of light. You could use little bits of blue tack and locate pieces of blue tack underneath this and just stick it down that way, or you can get masking tape. You can roll it on itself like that, place that to the back like that, and you can stick your artwork down like that to keep it in place. Just a couple of ways of locating it and keeping it in place. So we've got that piece done. You can now, on this one, cut the eyes out. So go round on this one. All these bits that you take out and cut out, you can reuse as shields to sharpen other areas up. So just put them all to one side. That's the other eye. Cut the nose out. And just place them to one side how they'll be on the image. So you've got your left, your right, so you know. When you're using paper shields like this, get your paint flow thin and drop your pressure right down. So you're working at very low PSI, and that does help, especially using paper shields. Stops a lot of the blowing around. If you're going in at 25-30 PSI, it's really high and these will be flapping around. You're trying to hold them, you're trying to steady your brush. So if you drop your pressure right down, so you're running really low, thin paint, nice and light, you'll get a better result. So we've got them bits cut out like that. We're going to work from this with these two stencils. We've got them pieces there if we need them. We can always cut some more shapes. We can always cut more pieces off of this and work with it, but we'll do that as we go along. Right guys, that's it for this episode. I will see you in part 2 when we move on and start spraying with these paper stencils.